Hi everybody, and welcome to the Domain 4.0 Unit End exercise. We are going to go ahead and start with our split screen as we always do. So let's go to the View tab and let's go to the Window group and let's split our screen so we can keep the instructions in view at the same time we can work in our document. While I'm on the View tab here, I'm going to turn my ruler off because it gives me just a little bit more space to work on my screen. I'm going to adjust my split by clicking and dragging that resizing handle, and I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom in the second window to get to my instructions. Okay, here we go. Domain 4.0, Creating and Managing References, Hands-on Exercise Instructions. First, we were going to insert a table of contents. So on page 1, place your cursor midway between the author names and the word introduction, right about there. And then we will insert a table of contents. We will choose Automatic Table 2. I will go to the References tab, to the Table of Contents button here, grab the drop down. I am choosing Automatic Table 2 right here, single click, and it inserts for me a table of contents. Perfect. And note it uses the header format, header 1, to identify what these options are. So I'm going to scroll down here to number 2, which is customize my table of contents. I want to remove my page numbers. In order to customize a table of contents, I'm just going to click inside the table of contents. I will come back to the References tab, to the Table of Contents group. I'll grab that drop down again, and I will come down here to Custom Table of Contents. And I'm going to use the tools here to customize according to the instructions. So it wanted me to remove page numbers. So I'm just going to uncheck the box that says Show Page Numbers, gets rid of all of these things. I will say OK. And I will say OK to replace this table of contents. And now my table of contents no longer includes the page numbers. It asks me to use the Control-Click method to verify that these links actually work. They don't look like links, but if you hold down your Control key and you mouse over any of these, you will see that your pointer turns into a link finger. So let's just see if it'll take me to social well-being if I click it. So I'm holding my Control key, click social well-being, and we are zoomed down to the social well-being section of the document. So far, so good. Let's move on to number 3 here. Create and modify bibliography citation sources. So using the image below, create a new citation source. All right, well, I can't see the whole thing in my tiny little bottom window, so I'm going to adjust the split of my screen to give more real estate to this piece down here. So this is going to be a document from a website. There's my authors, there's the name of the web page, the website, and some other information here. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do here is, I'll go ahead and click up here. Where does it want me to insert this? Oh, I'm just going to create a new citation source. Okay, so I'll go to the Review tab, References tab, and I'll go to my Manage Sources button here. I want to add a new source, so I'll go ahead and click New. First, though, let me just make sure I know what I'm looking at here. I'm going to use a document from a website, and those are my authors' names. Okay. I'm going to say New. And I'm going to create a source. I'm going to use a document from a website. The author was Wrath, Tom, semicolon, Harder, PhD, Jim. Okay. And then the name of the web page was Giving and Your Community Well-Being. The name of the site was Gallup.com. Article came out in 2010 in November on the 30th. And the URL, we're going to do HTTPS news.gallup, two L's, gallup.com /businessjournal/127217 /giving-community-wellbeing.aspx. And then I will say OK. And I will say close. I've added my new source right here. It is ready for me to use now. So I created a new citation source, done. Now I'm going to readjust my split, and we'll see what my next move is. Number 4, insert a citation for the bibliography. Cite the new source you just created at the end of the Community Wellbeing section of the document. Okay, go down to Community Wellbeing. At the end of this section, that is the end, correct? Yep. The end of this section, cite the new source. So I'll come up to References, and I will go to Insert Citation. And from the list, I will choose the one that I just entered about giving in your community well-being. And this citation is automatically created for me right here. Perfect. Okay, that was number 4. Number 5, insert a bibliography. So at this point, it says create 2 or 3 hard returns after the last line of the document by hitting enter a few times. So this is the last paragraph before the instructions. I'm just going to hit enter a couple times, give myself some room to work here, and then I'm going to insert the built-in bibliography titled Bibliography. So under References, under Bibliography, I'm going to choose Bibliography. A single click automatically creates for me a bibliography. Looks just like this. All the citations that have already been built in here are listed automatically in my bibliography. All right, so let's see what the instructions say to do next. Oh, so now that I have a bibliography, this title right here is listed as a header 1 in the styles under Home. Heading 1. So we need to include that in my table of contents. So let's scroll all the way back up to the top here. And if we click on our table of contents, you will see that you get a button right here called Update Table of Contents. If you are on the References tab, you also have an Update table right here. It just refreshes the table of contents to include any other parts of the document that have been formatted as headers. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit Update Table. And you will see the bibliography has now been added to our table of contents with a clickable link. If I hold my Control key and click on Bibliography, it zooms me straight to the bibliography, which is awesome. Okay, so that was number 5, insert the bibliography and update the table of contents to include it. Number 6, insert footnotes and endnotes. We are going to create a footnote in the introduction paragraph after the word gallops. That reads, Gallup was founded in 1935 by George Gallup, etc., etc. I'm going to Control C. I'm just going to copy that. Then I'm going to, following the instructions, come back up to the top to the introduction paragraph. I'll find the word Gallops, place my mouse directly after it right there, go to the references, insert a footnote, and I will Control V, paste that information. So here's what happened. In the introduction section, after Gallops, I get the number 1 here. At the end of that page, because it's a footnote, there is the information. Now all I have to do, if I am up here, is click on the footnote, and it takes me directly there. All right, so now we are going to add an endnote to the financial well-being heading that reads this little bit here, talking about an article that you can read. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to Control C to copy it. I'll go to the financial independence or the financial well-being section header, put my mouse directly afterwards, and I will insert an endnote. Now, the difference between footnotes and endnotes is footnotes come at the bottom of the page, endnotes are just extra information you put in at the end of the document. So I'll insert an endnote, and I will paste that information. If I scroll back all the way up to the top of the document, all the way back to financial well-being, there is my endnote. It is the lowercase I, the Roman numeral. If I double click on it, it'll jump me all the way there. Okay, so let's see what I'm going to do next here. Oh, I'm going to modify endnotes and footnotes now. I'm going to change the endnote properties to use lowercase letters rather than those Roman numerals. Easy peasy. Under References, under the Footnotes group, just click the Footnotes Setting Launcher, and we're going to select Endnotes here. And when it comes down to number format, right now it is set to Roman numerals. We are going to grab this dropdown and tell it we want lowercase letters instead. I hit Apply, and now all of my endnotes are represented by lowercase letters. So if I scroll all the way back up to the table of contents and I hold my control key and I jump to financial well-being, you can see that my endnote is now the letter A. And if I jump down with a double click, it takes me all the way to the end of the document. And that is number 7, and that is the end. So that was creating and managing references for Domain 4.0. Hope this has been helpful. As always, you may redo this exercise as many times as you wish until you feel comfortable with the content. When you are comfortable, go ahead and move to the next domain.